Hello, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division right here on Sports Gamer. My name is Toogie, joined once more by my good friend, Mr. Sin, for the win. Sin, we are ready to go. Our coverage for this next week, week 3 of our spring season, of course, is underway. It's very good to be back here with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a heck of a week in the ECL Elite. We've seen a lot of teams getting onto that left-hand side of the bracket, as we always talk about. Some teams we didn't quite expect, and some names on the right-hand side as well that we didn't quite expect. But in today's matchup, SAWO and hREDS, two teams that are vying for the top of the standings here, and of course, looking to get themselves a championship.
So we always say around here, expect the unexpected. That has been the theme so far throughout this season. Let's get you all a look at the standings as they happen to be upon the conclusion of yesterday's broadcast. And Sin, of course, there is a rather large discrepancy in some of the games played at this point. You have a team like Goons currently sitting in third who have nearly played half of their games already this season, whereas one of the teams we'll be covering here today in SAWO ESPORTS currently in 12th with just 6 games played. So it's tough to get a very clear picture on what the standings actually are at this point. Points percentage certainly kind of alters the outlook, but there's still plenty to look at here and to dissect for, again, what has been a very surprising start for some of these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, when it comes to a team like SAWO, who just so 6 games played, that's a lot of potential points in the bank here, but they do have to go up against a team like hREDS tonight, so could be tough for them to automatically move themselves, onto that left-hand side of the bracket into the playoff position after, this matchup here. But, as we said, plenty of opportunity for them to gain those points here, and they're going to be doing their utmost to do so.
Sorry about that. Apologies for that with the mute. Sin, as we discussed before getting back, despite being on vacation, I had a cold for most of it, so that's what we call a sneeze guard in the business. It's kind of like going up to the buffet, which I don't recommend in some southern states. Can get you in a little bit of trouble. But regardless, we march on. Sin, you see the schedule here today, and of course we mentioned it. SAWO Esports will be taking on hREDS, and of course a little bit later on as well. We'll be covering that series that you see at the bottom. ZSC Esports taking on Urabro Hockey, who have also had a very interesting start. I mean, Sin, that's one of the things that we've seen at the beginning of this season. Some of our top teams getting upset by the fringe playoff teams that we have in the Elite Division this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of those standouts have to be who you see on screen who will be playing against Havu. One of those teams who is off to a slow start with such, a big name, a mainstay in the elite. And it comes to the Fallen Coal Miners there, who have done such a tremendous job so far early on in this season and find themselves in a pretty fortuitous spot in the standings. They're going to want to continue that here. And what better statement to make than, taking on a team like Havu and picking up some big points against them. And it's a definite possibility for them. And unfortunately, we won't be covering those games, but we'll be keeping an eye on that with some of the latest results as those games get reported, and we'll hopefully get a chance to see those standings change as today goes on.
Absolutely. So again, as it is with every match day that we have here, big games across the league. Of course, sportsgamer.gg, the place where you want to be to follow along with everything. Of course, not just within the Elite Division, but every other tier that we have as well, which again, friendly reminder, tomorrow's broadcast, as well as always, Tuesday, our Pro Division Spotlights. As tomorrow it is Vizu Gaming taking on Powerhouse HC and Arctic against Reality Check. Two teams who, if you ask, depending on who you ask, and a lot of people surprised that neither of them finding themselves in the Elite Division this season. Both teams certainly looking to change that heading into ECL 23.
Absolutely. And I'm just kind of geeking out on that Powerhouse logo. That looks absolutely incredible, man. We don't get to see these teams too often, so it's always great to see some of the creativity coming out. But yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. There's so much potential there in the Pro Division and only so many spots to really get into the Elite Division. So as surprising as it may be, it takes sometimes a little bit of a extra little bit of mojo to get over that hump, and that's what Arctic and Reality Check are both going to be looking for over the course of this pro season.
So with that, everybody, it is time. Let's begin to set the stage, I should say, here for our first matchup of the day. And again, It was called a biggie on Twitter, Sin, and I can't help but agree as we have SAWO Esports taking on our now two-time defending champions in hREDS, who are off to a high-flying start, 9 wins in their first 10 games. And as we mentioned, SAWO, one of those teams that we haven't gotten the biggest look at yet this season. That offense, though, is still looking rather potent.
Yeah, absolutely. SAWO, it's kind of one of those teams that last season they really shocked the world. Now they've got to kind of build upon that. We talk about it all the time with teams enter the ECL Elite. Your first steps to enter, then you got to try to stay there. Always trying to build upon that. SAWO had such a great season getting that second seed, but they fell in the first round of the playoffs. So this is kind of their chance to prove that they're going to be a perennial contender here and be able to get further in the playoffs as well. So defense, as we expect, very, very good. Nikkei between the pipes, very, very good. The goals fair are kind of there, but, the power play, it hasn't really been clicking yet. And, of course, on the other side of hREDS, what else can you say? A perfect penalty kill, very, very low goals against, just 2 more than SAWO, despite having, I think, 4 more games played. It's kind of ridiculous here for hREDS. But, yeah, this matchup here could very well potentially be a matchup in the semifinals or perhaps even the finals if things go the way that SAWO want them to.
I mean, Sin, for all the descriptors we've used for hREDS over the years, the most common might just be ridiculous, more often for the better when it comes to that team. Let's get you all a look at the lineups that we have here in this upcoming 2-game set. Of course, the regular season matchup between SAWO Esports and hREDS. For SAWO, it is last season's Rookie of the Year in Yerska, centered by Moja and Avatu on the right. Captain Tambu and Temu on defense, and of course the face of this season, last year's goalie of the year, Nikkei between the pipes for SAWO. And then again for hREDS, it's the lineup that we've come to know and love over the past 2 seasons. This is the exact squad that's gotten it done. Villapoika, Benito, and Nicky Dangles up front, Domi and King of Apes on defense, and FaZe, the netminder for hREDS. And as we always do, we'll go into our individual comparisons. We start off with those centers. And for Moja, it's always a tall task to kind of compete with somebody like Benito, and the stat line certainly stands up there. But Moja has been fantastic, almost as fantastic, of course, as perhaps the best haircut in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're looking at pace alone, they're on identical paces throughout the games played that they have. 2 points per game for Moja, 2 points per game for Benito. The face-off percentage, pretty identical. Benito's never been a guy to have like the really, really high face-off win percentage at the tail end of the season, but it doesn't really seem to matter with how tenacious hREDS are. If they lose a face-off, the wingers are immediately on those puck carriers. Their forecheck is relentless, yet they still always find a way to get back. And a lot of that has to do with the presence of Benito in there, who seems to never, ever be out of position here. And it's going to be a nice, interesting matchup between him and Moja in the middle.
With that, of course, we'll take a look at the wingers here next as well. Again, for SAWO, Yerska, and Avatu, Villapoika, and Nicky Dangles for hREDS. Now, it's funny because you look at the point percentage for Villapoika, 14 and 10. Good numbers. Not what we've come to expect from him, though. Again, he led the league in our winter season in scoring. So by his own standards, a bit of a slow start, but every single one of these players well above a point per game pace. This is a fantastic matchup.
Yeah, and you can just kind of see how much possession, zone time that kind of hREDS have with their shot totals. Again, some of the games played discrepancy comes into account, but, more than doubling up their two counterparts on the other end in Yerska and Vatu here. Both of them, obviously very, very competent scorers, and they're going to need to be on their best here against an hREDS team. A lot of the time, SAWO's attack comes from Yerska and Vatu, kind of forcing those turnovers at the point, forcing those plays and feeding the counterattack and kind of surviving here. It's going to be tough to survive against an hREDS attack. Those two wingers are going to have to be on their game and really trying to, force the issue and not let hREDS cycle endlessly in their zone.
The defensive battle here that we have in front of us as well. Also incredibly exciting from the outside looking in, as it is Tambu and Temu on defense for SAWO. Again, Domi and King of Apes on the other side. Sin, we do start to see, though, that bit of a difference in these lineups, at least so far this season, where hREDS do have the point production advantage on the blue line.
Yeah, absolutely. But, that all being said, I think Tamu has found a kind of a new sense of freedom in SAWO. He's in the matchups that we've seen him play, he's jumping into the play so much more than we really ever saw him do in the past here. Of course, he has an incredible defensive game, and he's just kind of, he and Tombu seem to have a flow and a great chemistry back there on the points. And I think the points will come for that pairing. They haven't quite found their way just yet. But if they keep playing the way that they are playing and getting the chances that they do get and activating as they do, I definitely think that production will come. And, on the side of hREDS, yeah, Domi, King of Apes, I mean, just one of the best, if not the best defensive pairings on both sides of the puck. They're just tremendous, especially shutting down the blue line.
And of course, last but not least, it is the goaltenders to round out our individual matchups here. Sin, two of the best in the league, two of the best in the world, and those numbers certainly lend credence to those claims.
Absolutely. And FaZe has 5 shutouts in 10 games played. Records are kind of meant to be broken. We think back to the Kape setting the record for the most shutouts in an ECL season. I can't remember if it's 12 or 14, but it's a ridiculous number. FaZe right now on a pace to perhaps challenge that one. We thought Nikkei may have a shot in the last season, but he didn't quite come to it. Could be FaZe this season, but yeah, the numbers there for both of these guys, 85+% save percentages, very low GAAs, and of course, getting the wins for their teams.
So then I had to look it up. ECL 11. 12 shutouts in 30 games.
Yeah, 12. It's still silly.
So absolutely ridiculous. And maybe, just maybe, with the way FaZe is playing and the way hREDS are playing this season, as you said, records are meant to be broken. And maybe indeed we'll see that happen. So with that, we are just about ready to go here to kick off the action. Again, we continue on with our week 3 coverage. We're here every Sunday, Monday, and a Wednesday, of course. Of course, we talked about our Pro Division coverage on Tuesday as well. And I mean, Sin, it's been one of those things. I had to miss out on some of the action over the past week, but I was certainly keeping an eye on everything. It is just, been such a bizarre season. And I think we say that every single time out. But if we have an opportunity here to take a look at the standings one more time, because it's one of those things where, again, we only have the 16 spots. And you never want to sit there and rule somebody out a bit too early. But at the same time, what a shift this has been. Look at the bottom 3 in the league right now. All 3 of them were playoff teams last year. It's astonishing.
Yeah, and I think, the whole expect the unexpected, and as you mentioned, how we're always kind of surprised at like just what seems to happen at the course of the season and as it goes on. It's just in esports, especially, like the landscape can sort of change so quickly. Team lineups seem to shift, season through season. We see massive transfers happening all the time. Everyone's looking for that edge. Everyone's kind of looking for, greener pastures and things like that. And some teams formulate a lineup that looks great on paper, a la Färjestad, and it doesn't quite click early on as you'd expect. I mean, Färjestad picked up Ekin.
Yeah.
Ekin, and they're hovering around a 500 mark, something that we simply didn't think. And even someone as, prolific in the community as Eki had them as a top 3 team almost locked in. So you can kind of see, some things on paper don't always pan out.
So, I mean, you mentioned Ekin too. I mean, a prolific 1v1 player as well, currently into the round of 16 in the GWC, of course, for the European side of things. And of course, you see the prize pool that these two teams are very eager to get their hands on, as well as the other 14 teams in the elite division, of course, here in our spring season, looking to see if there will be a champion not named hREDS. As, of course, if they were to win, there would be no grand final. It would not ultimately be necessary. But here we go. Game 1 of 2 between these two clubs. The action underway here in the regular season. Again, so much to look forward to here on this broadcast. A little bit later on, of course, DSC Esports taking on Örebro Hockey. And again, some information that we have from the likes of our friends at Wilhelm and their e-hockey tour. So stay tuned for that as well. This SAWO gaining the early attacking zone time here comes at a premium against a team like hREDS, and Sin, you can see why already. Great body positioning there by King of Apes to take it away.
Absolutely. The blue line is going to be a high point of contention in this game here as we see SAWO resetting in their own end. It's going to be hard to really gain that line cleanly, especially when you give hREDS time to set up. So we may see SAWO looking to stretch that game out and try to beat them quickly before they can get set up on that blue line.
So this puck all the way back down to the SAWO end. First in there, beautiful road yellows. Vatu there had the puck for a moment. Nearly got it back from Yurska. Again, Benito was down there to help make the play. We'll always hype up hREDS. They've earned it. Again, two-time now defending champions. The only team in the history of the ECL to go back-to-back. Great job there by Yurska to force that turnover. Vatu nowhere to go. And a poke check there. Puck went off the post. Very close call there for FaZe and hREDS. And, of course, generated off of the pressure from the two wingers of SAWO, who continue to be, really a thorn in the side of every defense pairing that they come up against.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter what zone it's in, whether they're forechecking or whether they're pressuring you as you forecheck. They always find a way to create some havoc there, as trying to feed the middle and get a chance. But we got a 3-on-2 coming for hREDS.
Nicky Dangles, he'll drop back for Domi at the point. Has option. Went to go down low. It went off the skate of Nicky. Tried to go back to the point. Just unfortunately for them, a series of, I almost want to say unforced turnovers, as a clearance attempt down the other way for that quick breakout goes for icing. So we're already halfway through this first period.
Yeah, quite a lot of action so far, but high-quality chances probably, as we expect, going to be kind of few and far between, as both of these teams and goaltenders, very, very good on the defensive side of things.
So there's hREDS here in possession off of the draw. You saw in our pregame and the head-to-head how close the face-offs might be. Benito has that one poked away. Chance there for Villapoica trying to keep it alive. It's SAWO back in control. 8 minutes to play here in our opening frame. A couple of close calls now for both teams. Interesting moment there. Now it's Villapoica. Quick movement again from hREDS, dumping that puck in, trying to keep that pressure going. Big step up from Domi. Fought on for the loose puck. Nicky Dangles has it, looks. Goes back to Domi at the point, and again down low. That quick short side move to Villapoica doesn't go. Teemu tried to clear it out. It's intercepted by his own man, benefiting hREDS in front, bouncing around, and Nicky is able to find it and cover. Bit of a taste of their own medicine there, Sin, for SAWO, hemmed into their own zone.
Yeah, it's where hREDS can really bite you there, is when they can just compound some of that offensive zone pressure. Every time you think you're going to get it out, all of a sudden you're collapsed upon by several red jerseys, and they keep it in.
Villapoica's short side bit is broken up. He has another chance, and he scores. hREDS striking first here late in the first period. And who else would it be? It's Villapoica.
Definitely maybe feeling some of the heat, wanting to get off to a quicker start now, picking up his 8th goal of the season now, and kind of feeling like it was a bit on cue. hREDS, of course, getting a lot of that offensive pressure, beginning to hem SAWO into their own end, and that's just hard work behind the net, digging for the puck, pressuring the defenseman, kicking it back out front. Simple plays lead to goals. 1-0 for hREDS.
Definitely Villapoica's kind of bread and butter, hanging around on the short side. You know it's coming, but can you stop it? And clearly, it's easier said than done. So again, hREDS striking first, 9-1 through their first 10 games of the season. So not where SAWO wanted to be, trailing here, but still a lot of game to play. This one back in the neutral zone. SAWO again trying to work their way in. Domi's there. Interesting moment as well. King of Apes handled it well. That's Nicky Dangles again, has options. Domi back to him. Good defense from Vatu. But again, Domi stepping up, making plays happen. Here he is. Tries to pass. Loose puck shot saved. And the rebound handled precariously by Moja. SAWO able to settle it down. Maybe one more attacking bid here in this first period. Fortunately for them, though, an offside with 5.2 to go.
That was a sick play by hREDS. You had Villapoica sitting on the back door here. You thought the pass for sure was going over to him, but it went a little short, and guess who got it? It was King of Apes on the pinch, who got a tremendous opportunity at the tail end of that possession here. They fortunately don't score off it, but some scary moments right there. You can just see how in sync that hREDS are, almost using Villapoica as bait there to get a different kind of angle, maybe catch the goaltender sliding with the chance coming from King of Apes right there. Just relentless pressure, relentless attack. That's what they do so well while still managing to get back in time on the defensive end of things. It's very much like, as we saw in the past from various kind of HAVU teams, how they had layers of defense, and then talk about, the Frölundas of the past who always seem to find great ways to forecheck. And it seems hREDS have found the best of both worlds where they can forecheck, create that relentless pressure, get chance after chance, still get back, still have those layers of defense all over the ice. It really is kind of a thing of beauty to witness as they're all on the same page constantly. They all may as well kind of feel like they have the same mind out there as we get another look at how that play went. It was Tombu trying to kind of corral that puck on his skate. Villapoika picked it up through that traffic and was able to put that in. But again, good work down low by hREDS on the forecheck, able to get themselves that 1-0 lead. And that's where we find ourselves now entering this second period.
Absolutely. Again, ECL Elite Division action, of course, brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Kovalan and ST Hockey. hREDS quickly in on the attack. Chance there, broken up. It's Benito. Facilitator here, really making things happen for this offense. Again, the tremendous two-way play that you'd expect to see from a top center in this league, the captain of the team. SAWO forced to kind of slow things down a little bit here, and again, that is the issue. What do? You got to throw different looks, and they do just that with that excellent dump and chase. Tamu now, double team pressure, loose puck. There's the outlet pass. Nicky Dangles on the off wing. Great poke check by Tamu. Fortunately for him, he turns it over. Again, hREDS recovered down low. Domi trying to fend off the pressure. hREDS again working it down low. Short side, good save by Nike. They went right back to Villapoika. Puck down low one more time. This is not where you want to let hREDS be. Get over to working around the boards again, Villapoika. The utmost confidence in to just throw it on net from these angles to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not a bad angle to throw it on. It'll either kind of go out front of the net or it'll hit the goaltender. You never know what can happen after that. So you see hREDS just breaking out all the creativity here and all the stops against SAWO.
Domi with a laser beam from the point there, just missed. On the glove side, great outlet pass. Here's Vatu, has a step and misses. On the far side, blocker's side, but what a heads-up play. Loose puck still bouncing around. Yurska's shot attempt broken up. Loving the creativity from these two teams. Trying to catch the defense off guard. Another good save there by Nike, not allowing that rebound.
Exactly something that we thought we needed to see from SAWO, them trying to stretch that game out so they can beat hREDS before they're allowed to kind of set up on the point. What a sauce.
Yurska shot again, just wide. Unfortunately for SAWO, goes all the way back to their own zone as we hit the midway point of this second period. It's a bit surprising that we haven't seen a goal on either side of the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially, and for some of the pressure that hREDS are getting, some of the chances now that SAWO are getting, I mean, tight game like this and a game that definitely could have a few more goals in it. We're seeing both goaltenders stand tall.
SAWO now trying to go down the other way. Quick passing. It was Domi there to break it up. Errant pass by King of Apes. Shot again blocked. Tamu tried to throw it on from the point. Yurska. Back now for Captain Tombu into the middle. Bouncing puck. Tamu's shot and a good save there by FaZe. Right place, right time. Domi's pass off the mark. And icing is the call. 6:10 to play here in the second period. Still a 1-0 lead for hREDS.
That's really a kind of a micro victory right there for SAWO to get that icing, be able to get back in the offensive zone after a huge, huge chance shot on by Vatu, and FaZe, as you said, made a very good positional save.
Another defensive zone draw win, though, for Benito. Good outlet pass there to that far side. A lot of space for Villapoika to work with. Benito's right back there with him. Nicky Dangles throwing one through the slot. Back to the point. D-to-D. One-timer. Good save. Rebound and another big save. Nike has been called upon quite a few times here in this second period. Standing tall here, though, for SAWO. hREDS getting it right back. Turning it right back over, though. Can't do that against SAWO. Gives him an opportunity. What a play by King of Apes. Take away that sauce pass. Benito finds a little bit of space. Shot, rebound off the side of the goal for Nicky Dangles. hREDS again putting on that forechecking pressure. SAWO continuing to look for those quick outs, and Domi will force the icing here. Straight ones on the clock, and again, I'm stunned that we haven't seen an extra goal here.
Absolutely. Domi and King of Apes are a big reason why you haven't. See right there, reading that stretch play down the ice. You saw it before. King of Apes intercepting that sauce with Moja, just kind of sitting there on the back door, waiting to tap that one in.
That one thrown into the slot, handled again by Domi. Nicky Dangles trying to find Benito, who pokes it ahead. 7 seconds left. Teemu now for SAWO. Can they get one more chance? Tried to self-sauce it off the boards and chase it down. Ran out of time. So that goal in the first period for Villapoika will hold, and the big reason for that, Nikke on the other side, making some great saves, although on that one, it looked like he had a little bit of help.
Yeah, just a little bit. 3 yellow jerseys in front of him. The shin pad makes the save, but on the flip side, too, FaZe has been called upon to make some big saves. One right there with a in-tight chance coming out from Vatu off of a kind of fortuitous bounce and turnover there, but you can see hREDS. The time on attack is there. They're also pouring the shots on, and SAWO, they have had some time in attack. They have had some chances, but only 2 registered shots, and that one being the biggest one here. A lot of their good chances right now, as we sort of mentioned, being shut down by the likes of Domi, King of Apes, and the rest of the defense here is, man, what a reaction from Nikke there. It took a while for, I think that was Villapoika sitting there to kind of corral the puck and get that shot away, but Nikke slid back so quick, I'm not too sure if it would have mattered had he got that shot off immediately. Just Nikke's reaction time, just absolutely incredible these past couple seasons. You can see you can see why he's at the top of the goaltender leaderboards.
Third period underway here. Again, the first game of 2 in their regular season matchup. hREDS and SAWO, the top 2 point finishers in the winter regular season. Again, SAWO, unfortunately for them, went on to fall in round 1 to our 7th seed. Who, unfortunately for them as well, also no more. That was one of the big stories of the season with Granite Gaming moving on. Of course, hREDS went on to win the championship over Frölunda. See what SAWO can do into the attacking zone. Tombu sauces that one all the way through. Vatu still fighting for it. And tries to get that low cycle. Similar strategies for these two teams as Yerska gets floored with a high hit. Tombu is able to find Moja. Down low for Vatu now. Still fighting to hold on to it. Most possession time they've had in a while here for SAWO. Good step up by Tombu to keep it alive. Loose puck finds its way to Villapoika. Nowhere for hREDS to go on this counterattack. You know, hREDS are going to want that insurance goal. SAWO, tough team to try to fend off for a full 60 minutes. It's trouble for Vatu there, Sin. I mean, Villapoika has a habit of stealing the puck in that exact position. They did well to hold on to it.
Absolutely. It's always dangerous when you try to play up high in the zone, especially as a winger there. You kind of can get caught, and your defense could be flat-footed there as a shot on from hREDS gave Nikke a little bit of trouble.
Bit of magic there from Nicky Dangles as he does, breaking out the namesake moves. And yeah, again, another tough situation there. And oftentimes that's what it will take to beat a goalie like Nikke, is just throw the puck in front and hope you get that lucky bounce. This is Teemu, again, the big acquisition for SAWO. Hoping he'll be the guy to help push them over the edge. That one dumped in, not contested immediately. Domi taking his time. Veteran defenseman, of course. I'd say one of the best in the world, but I mean, you could say that for every member of this hREDS squad. Is Villapoika with a snipe and a half for his second of the game. Sin might have taken a deflection, but that is a huge goal for the defending champs regardless.
Wow, goes off the pipe and rings around the back of the net there. What a shot, and I think that was just clean in right there. Excellent job by Villapoika reading the situation, reading that his 2 men collapsing down low were covered, just ripping that shot on with a tiny bit of space, finding a tiny bit of space on the goaltender Nikke. Now with a 2-0 lead here, SAWO's really going to have to push.
Incredible moment there off of a even more incredible shot. This one goes for icing. 9 minutes remaining here on the clock. Again, the first game of 2 between these two teams. And hREDS with just 1 loss on the season so far, looking by their own standard that they've set a little bit more vulnerable than we've normally seen them. I mean, Sin, I think they were, what, 17-0 last season before their first loss?
I think it's 17 or 14, one of the two. I can't quite remember theirs.
And a goal! It's the hat trick! Right place, right time, Villapoica. That should be nail in the coffin here for SAWO. Sin, what a player. We called him out. Oh, he's not quite on the same point pace. I think he heard us.
Absolutely. 3 goals now, just 1 away from being up there with Benito, who has 11, and right now Benito's tied for the league lead with 2. So Villapoica making his way right back to the top of the mountain where he wants to be here, and hREDS 3-0. This is what they do so well. They can nurse a slim lead better than anyone else, and they just wait for their chances. They get another one. All of a sudden, the other team has to get more aggressive, and that's when hREDS just capitalize. What a save by FaZe, too.
Glove right up around the ear, able to make that stop. And, you know, a little bit of gamesmanship here after the whistle. You'll love to see it between, of course, 2 of the best teams that we have. So, Sin, I mean, at this stage for SAWO, barring a miracle comeback, going to fall to 4-2-1 on the season. Not exactly the high-flying start they would have looked for, as FaZe able to make that stop. Backhand from Yerska, point blank, goes just wide. I think we're in that, as again, we get another great save by FaZe. I think we're in that phase that we start to look at. Building blocks. Moving forward into the next game for SAWO. Need something to build upon here. With the presumed loss now, again, with just 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, and in most scenarios, even with a 3-goal lead with this amount of time left, you don't necessarily count a team out, but against a team like hREDS, who are so good defensively, can't help but think that's coming. An in-tight chance, or almost making it in, but FaZe has just been phenomenal here in his defense, doing a good job of clearing away those second, third opportunities.
Tombu couldn't get that quick outlet. Great pressure there by Benito. Again, the captain, he's got that golden helmet on, his team's leading scorer, and again, you can see why, which is how involved he is all over the ice. As that one sent through the slot, nobody home. And our first penalty of the game late here in the third. It'll be a holding call, as it will be a Domi going to the, or excuse me, Villapoica going to the box here. I mean, hey, he gets the hat trick, takes the first penalty as well. Sin, I mean, how often you see people utilizing the board play? You know, it's rather hit or miss. Unfortunately, just missed time there.
Yeah, we've been seeing it a little bit more in this season, I want to say, than we usually have, and evidenced by, you know, we're seeing a few more holds here and there, so that just means people are actively trying to use that board pin play. But something that I want to point out here, hREDS have historically been one of the more penalized teams, and I was just kind of thinking, we haven't really seen them getting into penalty trouble a whole lot like they have in the past right here. They're tied for 9th in the amount of penalty minutes so far, so vast improvement on what we could really argue was the only weakness left in their game here. So every single season, hREDS seeming to bring something new to the table and get better. It's impressive to watch.
And of course, one of the teams entering play today still with a perfect penalty kill, as a bit of a knuckle puck there on FaZe. He's able to make that stop as well. Thought the commentator's curse was about to kick in.
Yeah, you never know when it will kick in right here. But also, yeah, 3rd most shots for hREDS. Evidence in this game, and SAWO, for a team as good as they are, the 2nd least amount of shots. And it just kind of goes to show you their sort of mentality. They kind of have, if you're referencing the NHL, almost a New York Islanders type vibe. It's like a bend, don't break, collapse defense, and then you kind of try to get your chances on some counterattacks and where you can here. But unfortunately, as we see now against a team like hREDS, it just doesn't work like that all the time.
Here come hREDS. We are back to 5-on-5. Here's Domi. Loose puck back for Vatu. Still a lot to play for SAWO here. Again, goal differential has been a factor as well when it comes to the playoffs, so you never know. A goal here late, who knows what that might do as we approach the end of the regular season. Again, still a long way to go for the majority of these teams, but as we've talked about so many times, 30-game regular season, it does go by faster than you'd expect it to. Nowhere for Nicky Dangles to go, but the team recovers 2-1. Shot, big save. Great save there by Nicky, just staring down Villapoika. Again, already on a hat trick in this game. We hit the final 10 seconds. Yerska, nowhere to go. Tombu, shot deflects wide. Records are meant to be broken. Perhaps we're seeing the start of something special. His 6th shutout of this young season for FaZe. And hREDS move to 10-1 on the season.
Pretty ridiculous there. I was kind of holding my breath. I'm like, is he actually going to do this? SAWO was pressuring. SAWO had some great chances throughout the course of that game, but indeed, at the end of the final buzzer, FaZe does lock in his 6th shutout of the season before they've even hit 12 games played. It's pretty ridiculous what he's doing so far right here. And to do that against a team like SAWO, one of these teams that we expect to be a playoff contender, one of these teams that last season was at the top of the bracket, looking to do so again here, but unable to muster a single goal here against an hREDS squad, which did what they do best. Got a lead, held on to it, kind of just tried to keep compounding their pressure, and then put SAWO in a situation where they had to begin to stretch the game out, and then hREDS got that final goal to sort of put things away. And it's just really so often it's just a thing of beauty watching a clinic being put on by hREDS. It doesn't really matter who they're going up against here, and that's why they have the title of the best team in Europe right now, and very arguably a strong argument for the best team in the entire world.
So we'll get a look here again at the hat trick for Villapoika as it moves him up now to 10 goals in 11 games at this stage now. At this point of the season, again, that short side bit, that's such a classic go-to goal for hREDS, but it's almost his version, Sin, of what you see from the likes of, say, an Alex Ovechkin in terms of a one-timer. And indeed, look at that second goal. It did deflect.
Yeah.
And what a deflection it was to have it go post to post.
Yeah, absolutely. The first replay we have wasn't from the behind view like that, so it looked like to me it just went straight in with the amount of speed and velocity that was on it right there. You see that follow-up opportunity of Villapoika just kind of knocking that one in. Nicky couldn't get the pad over in time, and that's kind of what it came down to at the end of the day. Is hREDS capitalized on those opportunities. They had the majority of the pressure. We've seen SAWO so often kind of get into situations where, you know, they didn't have the majority of the pressure, but they're able to score on the backs of Yerska and Vatu with their tremendous counterattack play. And when you go up against a team like hREDS, it's so hard to do that. And when you're a team that seemingly has a way that you like to win, which is, you know, as SAWO kind of does, they have that collapsing defense and strong counterattack. And I think they're going to need to expand their horizons a little bit to be a real contender here, as we see hREDS doing. They can counterattack, they can forecheck you to death, they can hem you in, they can defend well. You know, you kind of want to have a lot of different things on your resume to be able to find that continued success here in the ECL Elite.
So with that, everybody, again, our first game of this broadcast is in the books. We'll be back after a brief word from our sponsors, and we'll set the stage for the second game between hREDS and SAWO Esports. All right, everybody. So again, a big thank you for sticking with us. Of course, Tukey here, back in the booth alongside Sin for the win. Nowhere I'd rather be here as we continue our coverage of the ECL Elite Division here. Again, week 3. It's our 30-game regular season here in our spring season. Hopefully, all leading to a grand final in June, although, Sin, as we've talked about all season long, might not be the case. If hREDS win this season as well, and of course become the first team to three-peat, there will be no need for a grand final, and they will walk away with that prize money. And unfortunately here, as we've seen, and again, it's a lot of money that hREDS have their eyes on at this point. Unfortunately for all these other teams, though, that have their eyes on winning this spring season, boy, have hREDS looked almost as dominant as ever, essentially. You know, they've had one slip up, and it was a bit of a shock last Tuesday. Örebro Hockey, the team to beat them 3-2. But since then, hREDS right back on form. You have another game against SAWO, and then we'll see them in action this Wednesday as well as they take on HAVU, which is a gigantic series for HAVU, to say the least, and what the future of that club might be as they've struggled out of the gates this season. For hREDS, life's looking good right now. I don't really think there can be too many concerns, but for SAWO, you know, now you're talking about you started off this season losing both to Frölunda. You look at some of the other slip ups, that they've had that last game. Maybe again, a 3-0 final. We talk a lot about hREDS, but a 3-0 final, maybe not what they would have expected there either. Of course, the reminder: Sid and I will be back this Wednesday, as you see on your screen here. ZSC Esports taking on IQ, and again, hREDS will be taking on hAWO. A reminder as well: ZSC Esports in action a little bit later on in this broadcast against Urobro Hockey. So, Sin, for the likes of SAWO, it's such a tough spot that they find themselves in right now, heading into this matchup where, again, we've seen how close the standings can be at the end of the season. And yes, it's a tough team in hREDS, but you at least want to get a point or two out of these matchups. And I'll leave you to that thought here in a minute, though, before we move on with the gameplay. Again, on Twitter, hashtag eHockeyMoments. We want to see your clips of anything NHL 22 related, the best or the worst. You have an opportunity to win a lovely little prize package there as well, all the way through the week of June 27th. So make sure to take part in that as well. And again, you've seen the advertisements as well from our friends at Wilhelm. So much going on with their eHockey tour. There's one every weekend. Turku on the 30th is where we will see the action continue this weekend. Again, more on that throughout this broadcast. It's SAWO in their home black and yellow. And again, huge game for them here.
Absolutely, and just kind of follow up on what you're touching on in the pregame here. They, lost those couple games to Frölunda, a team that they're going to have to beat if they want to advance further there, trying to get an early goal. And, they dropped this first game now to hREDS. And if you want to be considered, a top team, you're going to have to beat the other teams at the top. And that's something that SAWO hasn't been able to do. And you compound that with their first round, upset against Granite in last season's playoff, trying to still figure out, contenders or pretenders.
Puck poked back to the point here. Domi in possession for hREDS. Again, for those that might have missed it, a 3-0 victory for hREDS in that first game. It was Villapoika scoring all 3 goals. That shot on. Good kick saved through the traffic by Nike. Loose puck recovered here by Moja. Batu, what a poke check there after a tremendous saucer pass to feather that one through. Short side bid, may have flipped the side of the goal. Left the side of the pads for Faze. Now Benito again had a steam between the legs. Shot from Villapoika, just missed. Villapoika again battling for it. Moja was able to take it away. Down the other way. Good pace to this one so far. Batu can't get the shot off, and that is because a penalty is called. It's interference. hREDS will go to the power play for the first time. Teemu going to the box. And an interesting call, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one of those kind of weird little bump plays that, it doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot, but, it's been kind of called relatively consistently in this one. The animation there kind of had us all fooled, but nonetheless, a power play for hREDS. We'll see them get to work.
So the 4th best power play entering today, 29% on the season. Good shot, better save by Nike, and kill the clock a little bit. Take those extra seconds off that man advantage, which, again, certainly not where you want to find yourself down a man against hREDS.
Absolutely not, especially how Benito's been in the face-off dot. He got the better of Moja in this last game, and so far looking to continue that here in this one, but it's a big win coming out from Moja, and Domi will have to go and retrieve that puck and reset things for hREDS.
And let's see now what the former 2-time defending champions can do. Here is Domi stepping in, back into the slot. Great glove save, made it look effortless. Another big stop there by Nike here on this PK.
Yeah, there's a lot of extracurriculars happening between these two teams, like kind of after
that
whistles.
That is a SAWO special, not to
yeah.
Sorry, but that is what SAWO does. As you have Nicky Dangles there, Domi to the point. And for SAWO, Sin, I don't know if it's mind games. Oh, deflection there, big save, second chance for Villapoika, doesn't go. That one banked off the glass, but held in. Batu playing with fire, trying to use the glass to throw these pucks out. We are back to 5-on-5. Chance here poked away. Villapoika can't hold on to it. Good hit there, though. King of Apes for Domi. Shot paddled away. A great save from Nike there. Again, the busier of the two netminders compared to Faze down the other way. Trend that started in that first game. But saying, yeah, with SAWO and what we'll call their antics, I don't know if it's just to have fun, if it has, like, if they do it just to be sarcastic with the negative connotation, although I'm sure it does rub some teams the wrong way, especially if SAWO's winning.
Yeah, absolutely. But hREDS, I think, one of those teams that are just respond to it themselves. They have a lot of big personalities on their team as well. Here is looking to get a big goal here at the first period. But you think of Nicky Dangle's always in chat, King of Apes, and what he said, to us, a little bit before the finals when we were talking to him. We're not going to obviously repeat too much of what was being said there, but there are some big personalities. A lot of confidence on that hREDS squad. So I think, they'll see what SAWO's doing. They'll match it with their own kind of style themselves.
Face off one here by SAWO. 6.5 minutes to play here in this first period. Again, SAWO struggling to get that offensive zone time. Good job by Teemu to take that one away. So Vatu has a couple of options. Tries to go for a bit of a skate. Still has the puck now. Poked right back down by Tombu and around the back of the net. Domi's going to win that one. He's able to chip it out. Lucky break there for hREDS. They have the numbers. Shot save. Rebound off to the far side. Lost in the traffic, at least momentarily. Domi for Villapoika. Nicky Dangles down low again to the point. Gets it right back. Great cycling here from hREDS, and the trip is called. Picture perfect from the hREDS attack, and it leads to another power play chance.
That's the captain, Tombu, going to sit right there as he went for the poke as Benito was doing a nice bit of L skating off the boards, trying to create some space and cut towards the net right there. And it's going to put hREDS right back on the power play here. And another huge kill coming up for SAWO.
Let's see what we can have here now, perhaps. Looking for the opening goal of this game still. That one again banked off the back of the net, just held in by King of Apes. Nicky Dangle's shot blocked. Puck continuing to bounce around and bounces all the way out of the zone. Legs of Benito. Huge hit there. Villapoika is going to be down. It was a 2-for-1 special. hREDS still putting the pressure on. One-timer just wide. I don't know if Apes could have gotten any more of that. It was fired out of a cannon.
Absolutely. And he was in such a good position for that. He's got to be shaking his head right now. Great position, great aim on it, went for the far side, and somehow from that location, it just whistles wide.
Final few moments here of this first period. Benito holds it in. We are back to 5-on-5. That one paddled away. Off the blocker. Now 0 for 2, the hREDS power play here. SAWO doing everything they can to hold on. 2 seconds left in the period. Thrown in front, bouncing around, and just recovered. Some close calls, but for SAWO, I mean, Sin at the very least, no longer, no longer on the kill. Successful moments there. They didn't get much offense, but I don't know. It's a really tough period to view. I mean, I think you can take some positives out of it, though.
Yeah, Nikke is on his game, and he stopped all the shots. I mean, that's your biggest positive after that. I mean, 4.5 minutes time on attack and 9 registered shots to... You only had 2 registered shots and just, I think, a little bit over a minute or under 2 minutes. I can't remember the exact timing, but nonetheless, yeah, it was pretty much a big period for hREDS here, but Nikke was up to the task. There's a lot of good opportunities, and again, this is kind of the SAWO style, but they're struggling to find that counterattack pressure. That's where a lot of their offense comes from. The speed and the skill of Yerska and Vatu, with, Mosier kind of being a third man on those rush opportunities. Teemu, Tombu jumping in when they need to, but those counterattacking opportunities simply haven't been there because every loose puck, hREDS either seem to get to it, pressure the person who gets to it, or they get back in time to completely negate any sort of counterattacking pressure here. So if you're SAWO, you're going to try to be looking for some other angle, some other way to be able to attack this hREDS team, or things could get out of hand. The good news is you're still tied.
Again, second period underway here. hREDS net drive, forcing the save from Nikke. Again, as always, Elite Division action brought to you right here on Sports Gamer by our friends at Wilhelm, Koblenz Lakritzi, and ST Hockey. Again, in chat all day long. Information, of course, Wilhelm, along with ourselves, wanting to see your best, if not your worst, moments in NHL 22. Sure, on Twitter and Instagram to use the hashtag eHockeyMoments for your chance to win some cans of IQ Fuel. which Sin and I hope to be able to try sometime this year. Along with a variety of other products that we have been taunted and teased with for 3 years now. As insane as that is, Sin, my time away, I had the recollection. It's been 3 years now, essentially, since we've started up here with Sports Gamer, and what a 3 years it's been, the constant evolution of the league. And think about it, when we joined in, who would have thought that, hey, these two teams, two of the best in the world, the European scene certainly changing a lot in these past couple of years. There's Yerska into the attacking zone. Great job. Batu short side. As FaZe, after an initial bit of difficulty in finding the puck, is able to make the cover. And that shows just how quickly SAWO can turn it on.
Absolutely. That's that counterattack pressure that we always talk about and how quickly that kind of formulated. But FaZe was up to the task right there. It's just a quick pass through the defense right there. Good timing on it, trying to just hit him in stride for a quick shot. But again, FaZe makes a save. Hasn't been tested too much in this one, but was exceptionally sharp on that.
Filipoika gets it back from Nicky Dangles. Good job on the back pressure to take it away. Into the attacking zone now, head of steam for Teemu. Sauce is one in front. 2 men for hREDS there to take it away. Again, for those just joining us a little bit later on, CSC ESPORTS taking on Urubro Hockey, 2 playoff hopefuls this season. Loose puck still being contested here. You never know who's going to come up with these. Domi is able to keep it in at the point. Boyka down low. Good read there by Teemu, taking this one away. Again, Teemu trying to make things happen on his own. Sin, you called out how often he is to jump up. Massive hit there. Batu down, hurt, no penalty called. See if hREDS can take advantage of this brief numbers advantage. The answer is no, as Yerska has it. Find Moja, again, nowhere to go. An offside call with 8:53 to play. Still looking for our opening goal of this contest.
Yeah, there are a couple pretty massive collisions kind of behind the net. That being one, and I guess that was the only one. He just kind of flew halfway from the half wall all the way to behind the net right there. There's another small bump behind it, but it's just a whole mess of bodies being moved in that pile when that hit came through. And I guess that's what we're looking at. Bit of an injury to that player now. And I mean, still 0-0 at this point here. I mean, you're kind of just waiting for something to give. hRED getting the better of the pressure, but you never know if SAWO are able to find a way to strike first there, as they do what they do best after the whistle, after a large crushing hit. You never know to see hREDs under pressure like they are. I mean, they usually handle it quite well here, but SAWO with their defense and goaltending, I think they really want to play with a lead here.
I mean, the longer this goes on without hREDS getting a goal, the more the confidence should go up. For SAWO, could be one of those moments where one goal is enough. Again, a 3-0 victory in game 1 for hREDS. Filipoika with the chance. He had all 3 of those goals in that first game. Just couldn't get the angle there. As hREDS right back in control here, though. 5 minutes to go here in the second period. Again, Nicky Dangles finding the seam. Here's Domi. Filipoika again, big save, and it's in! Filipoika will get credit. Looked like it was swept in on that secondary opportunity, and Sin, oftentimes a goal like that is how you will find the opener.
Absolutely. When two teams this evenly matched are having trouble finding the back of the net, all of a sudden it just starts getting to the point of throwing pucks and bodies at the net. That's what happened right there, and hard to see from that replay how exactly it went in, but you said it, Filipoika getting credit once again. That's his 4th goal of the day here. The only hREDS member to put the puck in the back of the net so far. The only one in this matchup at all to put the puck in the back of the net here. So 1-0 lead for hREDS at the tail end of the second.
Again, when you have a matchup that's this close, a goal like that may often be the difference maker, because something's got to give at some point. Someone's going to have that goal. As Yerska banked that one off the side of the net. Good poke check by him to keep this play alive. Nicky Dangles nowhere to go. Immediately contested. Yerska simply ran out of room. We've hit the final minute. SAWO in possession, still looking for their first goal of the day. Nearly now 5 periods played against hREDS with nothing to show for it.
Yeah, and this is getting to a point where it's a little bit concerning if you're hREDS, or at least concerning as a viewer, because again, this is a SAWO team that wants to find themselves as a perennial contender who got the 2nd seed last season, upset in the first round here, but they have a chance. And snuffed out there.
Yeah, taken away at the last moment. That'll do it for the second. We'll get one more look at the Villapoika goal. It's ultimately the difference maker here so far.
So it looks like, at least from that, no other hREDS player would have touched it, just kind of off the goalie, and as he went to grab it, I guess, sort of knocked it in right there. An unfortunate animation, unfortunate break for Nikkei and SAWO. Yeah, indeed, as I think his stick came over to grab it with the puck, that is what knocked it in there. So definitely something that will leave a sour taste in the mouth of SAWO. But if you're hREDS, maybe feeling as though you had deserved that goal a baby bit earlier. You got 13 registered shots, times 3 the amount of time on attack that SAWO has. And of course, that doesn't always necessarily mean goals. It doesn't always necessarily mean you should have scored goals, but it's never a bad stat to have at the end of the day here. And for hREDS, they find themselves in a similar situation, a 1-goal lead, as small as it may be. That's exactly where they like to play. And now SAWO Esports, with just 20 minutes left to play, will have to try to find a way to score a goal on phase, which they've yet to be able to do.
The 3rd period underway here. Another face-off win for Benito as well. It's been a rough day for Mosia. Turns to the draws. Big hit there. hREDS still able to keep this one in. Fake slap shot from Apes, but his pass off the mark. The attacking zone. SAWO get it back. Yerska nowhere to go. Incredibly active sticks in the defensive zone for hREDS. Here's Domi. Great job to walk the line. Good movement, but Moshe's able to knock that one away. Benito wins it back. Nicky dangles. Domi's shot forcing a save. Good stop there. And again, that forechecking pressure from hREDS. Difficult to deal with. That was good no-look pass. SAWO finally getting some possession back, but again, completely stifled at the hREDS blue line. One-timer, good save, rebound. Nikkei is able to track that one down without knocking it into his own goal. We'll have a face-off in the SAWO zone.
That was a big blast from the point there, and a couple of hREDS guys there for the rebound, but you said it, Nikkei able to slide back and cover that one up.
SAWO in possession here now. See what they can do. And Golden Helmet wearer is their center in Mosia. Team leading scorer. Both centers in this matchup, their team's leading scorers with Golden Helmets in this one. Mosia again has it. And again, hREDS 3 forwards in the attacking zone. Nowhere for SAWO to go. Good job, though, on the pressure here. The mistake from hREDS. And wraparound scores! Their first bit of attacking zone time. And Vatu scores on the wraparound.
Huge play right there from SAWO. Exactly what they needed. Worked the left wall very well. And then just a quick little pass to Vatu, streaking behind the net with speed. And goes with the wrap chance. FaZe was there, but he's able to find a little bit of space. Ties this game up at 1. And with 12:29 left, it's a whole new outlook towards the tail end of this one.
A huge moment again for SAWO. Their first goal of the night on the wraparound. Struggling to get that attacking zone time, but a great heads-up play by Vatu, and there's a double chase that's mistimed. We'll see what the response happens to be from hREDS. Really the first bit of adversity that they've faced here in this matchup. See hREDS in action again on Wednesday. What a hit there. And SAWO will go to the power play. It's King of Apes absolutely floored him.
Yeah, and that will probably be a boarding call right there, as pretty rough collision, kind of a little bit on the numbers, but more so just kind of a face first into the boards right there. So huge opportunity for SAWO on the power play to be able to get the go-ahead goal and their first advantage of this 2-game set.
SAWO without a power play goal on the season. Heading into the action today, I believe, Sin, correct me if I'm wrong, 0 for 1 against hREDS here tonight. As here's Nicky Dangles, head of steam. Villapoika's with him, gets it to him, scores! Short-handed goal. 5 goals in total for hREDS tonight, all 5 of them belonging to Villapoika.
And what a play right there by hREDS, counterattacking short-handed Nicky Dangles. A great job streaking in with speed and then positioning his stick just the way he needed to slide that pass across to his winger partner Villapoika, who capitalizes on it. And that's a really rough look for SAWO there. You know, have not scored a power play goal quite yet. They're hoping to break that mold. hREDS have yet to surrender a power play goal. And not only is a goal scored, but it goes in favor of hREDS here. Now SAWO back into a 1-goal deficit.
A big hit there, resulting in another call delayed here. Loose puck bouncing around, and it will be 17 seconds of 5-on-3. As Villapoika, after scoring the goal, will join King of Apes in the box, and I don't think you can contest that one.
Absolutely not. So brief amount of 5-on-3 time here. Moja has got to find a way to win this face-off. This possession is crucial.
Off the draw, they have it. Shot block, second chance, poked away. King of Apes rejoining the play. Yerska's chance broken up. Vatu point blank. Moja across. Out of the reach. D to D. Shot, rebound doesn't go. Looked like FaZe got a piece of it with the blocker. Great save. And the puck is cleared just barely.
1 minute left essentially on this power play, but it have to be a neutral zone draw here. That was a lot of survival coming out from hREDS right there. Some good saves coming out from FaZe, especially that secondary opportunity. I'm not too sure if he got back in time or if it hit the side of the net. Nonetheless, it did stay out, and the hREDS penalty kill doing a great job so far. That clear from Domi just made its way out of the zone, and they're in possession now.
45 seconds to go. Turnover here. SAWO in control. Only momentarily as Nicky Dangles gets that one out. So hREDS again, their response, a short-handed tally to regain the lead. And we continue to see SAWO struggling. Power play. They'll have another kick at the can here, though. The delayed call, Nike. Onto the ice as the extra attacker has the puck here. Moja tried to sauce that one in front. 5:04 on the clock. Another power play chance for SAWO. King of Apes going back. And Sim, we talked about the improved discipline.
Yeah,
I should have been listening to us there too.
Yeah, that was just a pure frustration penalty from King of Apes. He wasn't happy about his dump attempt, which went straight into a SAWO man. He tried to make up for that mistake immediately with a poke, and so little errant got right into the feet, and SAWO right back onto the power play.
A loose puck fought on for SAWO come up with it. Teemu, job to hold the line, tough spot. Let's see what Tombo can do. Gets it back to give and go. Shot on, saved by FaZe. Nobody really screening him in front. Relatively easy stop.
Not too sure if Vatu was hoping to get everything on that effort. He was indeed shooting low, maybe hoping for a rebound. Nonetheless, just swallowed up by FaZe.
That one off the boards. Benito able to send it all the way down. 4 minutes to play here in regulation. Of course, if it were to go to overtime, both teams earning a point. Sudden death overtime rules. We'd stay until there was a winner. Past, we have deemed these Marathon Mondays for a reason. There is a bit of a tendency how closely contested this division is. Again, the top 16 teams in Europe in terms of NHL esports, all vying for the crown that currently sit atop the collective heads of hREDS. 2 minutes to play here. That one sent all the way down. Yerska scores! He wins the foot race. We're tied at 2 with under 2 to go.
Just barely winning that race by maybe a quarter of a step right there. But the big part is he had the inside position, able to get in on the forehand. I think King of Apes went for the stick lift there, just couldn't quite connect on it. And Yerska able to beat FaZe. We've got a tie game at 2.
Incredible moment there. SAWO unable to find the tying goal on the man advantage. Who needs it? The quick outlet worked. A rare instance of King of Apes not having the proper positioning compared to the attacker for the other side. hREDS. History of late winners. Good save there off of the deflection bid in front. On the back wraparound save. Kept alive by Nicky Dangle. Still has it. That shot blocked. Step up there by Domi trying to keep it alive. Villapoika has it. His pass intercepted by Vatu. And SAWO walk away with this one here late. What a win it would be here early in their season. Vatu had a wide open corner. Couldn't hit the target. 17 to go. Puck chopped right back in. And hREDS likely to have the last offensive chance here in this one. They win it back. Vatu's pass off the mark as well. And SAWO seem content to earn that point. Overtime coming up here, 2-2 after 60 minutes.
And that is a big point for SAWO, a chance to get an extra one, but in the same vein, hREDS now guaranteed at least 3 points, so that feels great for them, but, they're not feeling good about giving up a late goal like they did, and they were trying their utmost to try to get that one back there with a bit of a flurry of chances at the end, and I was kind of nervous for SAWO when they went into the corner to try to kill that off. There's about 6 seconds left, and we've seen at times, people trying to... I can't remember what game it was in, but someone as someone tried to tie themselves up behind the net, just dug the puck out immediately, sent it out front, and a quick goal was scored. I even think it was maybe even Frölunda who did that. So it was a risk to kind of take to get that extra point for SAWO, but they end up doing it. But what a shorthanded goal that this was on the backhand by Villapoika, who has just been incredible for hREDS throughout the course of this, but this game-tying goal as well, just a tremendous timing play that Yerska able to get to that puck first, was the difference maker, had the positioning that he needed, and was able to beat FaZe after he beat King of Apes up the ice here. So overtime will have to be played to decide the winner here.
Indeed, again, 1 point for both of these teams, which is hREDS now up to 21. SAWO on 10, so again, early stages of this season. You don't want to look into it too much. Of course, again, SAWO with significantly fewer games played. A lot of teams at this stage. Again, we got to look at the standings a little bit later on in this broadcast just to remind you how crazy it's been in terms of who's been able to get those games in early. Benito. Nicky Dangle's great reach to pick that one up. Had nowhere to go. What a pass there, and now Mosia loses it in double team. See what Vatu can do. Tried to drop back to the point. Tambu couldn't handle it. Nicky Dangles. Benito misses wide on the blocker side. What a chance for the captain. It's Tamu down the other way. His sauce into the middle. Have to loft that one through. Fortunately for him, hREDS all over it. They have the puck back in the SAWO zone. Good job by Benito to take that one away. Free possession now for SAWO. Again, down twice in this game. It was 1-0 hREDS, then 2-1. Did a great job of hanging around, again, after a 3-0 victory in Game 1 for hREDS. That shot deflects off a leg. Vatu not able to hold on to it from the pressure from Domi. Now it's Villapoika. On the back, Benito nowhere to go. Tambu. The rest of SAWO struggling to hold on to this puck. They have to slow it down. Never really know what hREDS are going to throw at you, Sin, in terms of the pressure.
Yeah, no, but SAWO's done a good job, at least in this one, of not allowing them to get those long kind of extended cycles going, at least so far towards the end of the third and here in overtime. But hREDS doing their utmost, going for a dump and chase there. They had Yerska up the ice, but no real passing lane.
Turn over there. Villapoika can't hold on to it. Loose puck bouncing around. King of Apes there. Send it around the back to protect it. Again, now hREDS in control. For halfway through this first overtime of what could be many. Although how intrigued I would be if we could do shootouts to decide overtime. There's hREDS back in control here in the neutral zone. These two teams just stalemating one another at this stage of the game. And all 5 men back here. Forcing the offside for SAWO. I mean, Sin, it just feels like we're, it's kind of waiting it out to see who cracks first.
Yeah, absolutely. As even hREDS, really not able to establish themselves in the offensive zone like we have kind of come to expect, at least in this matchup as well. But trying to do so now. Great play by Vatu to strip that away from Nicky Dangles.
Here's Scott. Couldn't get it back to him in front. Moja, loose puck all the way to the far side. SAWO here in possession in their own defensive end. And looking for this winning goal. Perhaps get their season back on the right track. After again entering play today with a 4-1-1 record, which certainly isn't all that bad. I mean, again, as we've talked about, their losses to Frölunda and to hREDS, but at the same time, you do want to get the wins against those teams to really establish that, hey, we are as good as we looked in the regular season last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just kind of, you don't want to ever be a flash in the pan, especially in the elite division here. So it's up to SAWO to kind of control their own destiny and show that they could be here and just got to push for this OT win.
Moja able to keep that one in. What a poke check to knock it right back out. Of course, final 2 minutes of overtime, real-time minutes. Still a long way to go. That one dumped into the open side. Double chop. Tombu has it now for SAWO. Shot on and a good save by FaZe. Vatu running into trouble. And upon the conclusion of this game, no matter how long it takes, a brief intermission and we'll return with more action. ZSC ESPORTS taking on Örebro Hockey. Rebound scores! And it didn't take long from that point. hREDS score. It's the captain, Benito, getting it done. And a 3-2 victory here in overtime for the defending champions.
Just as we thought Marathon Monday would really live up to his name here in this first matchup. Second overtime on the horizon, less than a minute left here. And OT number 1, just the rebound opportunity that Benito capitalizes on it, showing why he has that gold helmet still in his possession. Huge game-winning goal. Another big extra point for hREDS. 4 of 4 on the day, and SAWO just picking up the lone point here. It will drop them to 4-2-2 on the season. Still plenty of time to work their way back up, but again, dropping 2 games to Frölunda, dropping 2 games to hREDS. These are teams that you're going to have to beat if you want to find yourself, towards that top of the mountain here, and SAWO struggled against them, at least here in the regular season, but hREDS doing what they do best and picking up big wins in a multitude of ways here in the ECL Elite.
So a big moment there for hREDS as again they walk away with all 4 points, still atop the standings here. As you get a look at the rebound, and Benito is there. Nothing a goaltender can do in that instance, although Sin, he tried. He got a good piece of that puck.
Yeah. Really almost got bad for that. The pad was right there. He just couldn't keep it, outside of the post, kind of knocked it in right there. But, I mean, Nikkei, I think I've said it before, it's, I think one of the quickest reaction speeds of any goaltender I've really ever seen here. He's just so fast, and that's why he's such a great goaltender. SAWO, as we saw here, under immense amount of pressure, 20 shots against them, and Nikkei was making the majority of those saves here. We're going to look at that first goal from Vatu there, the one that they finally opened up the scoring against this hREDS team, who came on the wraparound and then got a few power play opportunities, but allowed a shorthanded goal right here off of kind of a nice counterattack from Nicky Dangles and Villapoica. And then this one here, I mean, just unreal job off of that slap pass opportunity. Yerska capitalizes on it and led us to the overtime here where Benito found pay dirt on the rebound.
One more time, that 1T from King of Apes leads to the game-winning goal, the overtime winner for their captain, Benito. Entered play today, tied for just outright in second place in scoring in the league with 11 goals. That is his 12th of the season here early on for hREDS. Again, just 12 games in, 12 goals. Not a bad pace to be on whatsoever. But with that, we'll take a step away for just a few brief moments. And again, we will be back coming up. It is ZSC Esports taking on Urabro Hockey. We got 2 more games for you here on this broadcast. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.